A relay can also be used to interface a machine output to an incompatible input as shown here. When is indirect connection used to interface machines? When is direct connection used to interface machines? In this procedure, you will use the I/O characteristics of various machine controllers to develop your own interface diagram to interface two machines. This will require you to determine if a direct or indirect connection can be used and how to connect the devices together. Click on the pencil and paper to view the step-by-step instructions for performing this procedure. Sensors are interfaced to a machine's inputs in an industrial environment. Because sensing elements provide only a small current when they are triggered, transistor switching circuits are commonly used to provide the output current for industrial sensors such as capacitive, inductive, or photoelectric sensors. The transistor increases the current available from the sensing element in order to drive the inputs of PLCs, robots, CNC machines, and other industrial systems. Shown is a sensor used to provide a signal to a PLC input. The sensor uses a PNP transistor switch. The PLC input includes an LED that indicates the status of the input and a resistor that develops the output voltage. The PLC uses the voltage across the resistor to determine the status of the input. The input is on if V sub N is 24 volts DC and off if V sub N is 0 volts DC. The terminology used to describe the connections between sensors and machines are syncing and sourcing connections. In electronics, the positive voltage is considered the source and the ground potential is considered the sink. Two types of sensors are used to provide for both types of connections: sourcing sensor and sinking sensor. Typically, a sourcing sensor uses a PNP transistor switching circuit to switch the positive voltage to the PLC input. The transistor shown turns on and sources the positive voltage to the PLC input, which sinks the positive voltage to ground. The sensor is said to be sourcing, while the PLC input is said to be sinking. These types of connections always occur in sinking and sourcing pairs. If the sensor is a sourcing sensor, the machine or PLC input must be a sinking input. Shown is a sensor that is configured as a sinking sensor. A sinking sensor typically uses an NPN transistor. The transistor switches the ground potential when it is on, so it is called a sinking sensor. The PLC input is attached to the positive voltage source, so it is a sourcing PLC input. What is shown here